Okay, guys, I'm going to work as fast as I can to show you how to do this. Some of you may not necessarily need it, but you are going to be watching the video so that you can find out how to do this. Now, what we're going to do is make sure that we have all the hardware here. Over here, we have shaft keys. We have the bolts over here. And of course, we have our guard. We're going to start by putting on the guard very quickly. I chose a ratchet and a socket. You can use a wrench if you want, but it's just a little easier to access that. So what we're going to do, I'm working kind of funny here. I'm on the back side of this, so just forgive me. I'm going to line this up. Make sure that I put washers on things. It's always a good idea to put washers on them. But in this particular case, the washer is not necessarily the right size. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to go ahead and bolt this up so that I don't take a whole lot of your time. And we're going to go ahead and crank these things in very quickly. All right, this will move back to where you can actually gain access. So all I'm doing is running the bolts in. Yes, we are going to use washers. I happen to grab the wrong ones for this particular video. And we'll get it in there as far enough. And then we want to make sure that we don't hit the guard here. So we're going to add an extension. And this happens to be a 9/16 socket and ratchet. We're going to make sure that's nice and tight. We should already have learned about the amount of torque that we're going to put on things. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and install our wheel over here. Now with our wheel, there's a few things that we have to notice. It's going to, well, they use the sprocket for this. That's quite okay. But there's actually a set screw in here. So we're going to have to find the appropriate Allen wrench for that to be able to fasten it. And also, too, there's a key. Now, there's keys over here. We need to find the one that's going to work. So I'm walking around the backside here, again, making it a little bit awkward for me to work. But then again, you'll be able to see. And we're going to go through and select the appropriate wrench for this. And so far, I'm not doing good. Okay, I found it. I'm able to run it out there. And what I'm going to do is just grab my shaft keys over here. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to find one that's appropriate length. Ooh, that one's nice too. It's not all boogered up. And you'll know what I'm talking about when I say boogered up. There'll be burrs that will actually change the shape on that unit there. And it won't actually want to fit into the keyway nearly as nicely as it's supposed to. So I'm going to go ahead and work on getting that in. Maybe even choose a different one here because it's not fitting. Okay, this one's fitting, and we'll be able to slide that one back. That's perfect. Bring this wheel up. Start that on. Make sure that our key doesn't get shoved back. That's very important that you don't get your key shoved too far back, because then it won't come in contact with the slot and drive it appropriately. Now, it's only going to go so far. You can see here that the end of the pardon me, that the end of the plate is going to stop that shaft from coming through. So now we got that set up right there. It's nice and secure. You don't have to put a whole bunch of torque on there, but you want to make sure there's enough to where this thing won't come off, realizing that this is a very small thread as well. So now that we've gotten that done, what we want to do is we want to clear all of our tools off of here. I'm just sliding them out of the way just for illustration purposes, but we want to make sure everything is clear. And the first test that we're going to do, without actually putting anything on the wheel, and we're just going to measure it. So we're going to put this down, snap this back in place, and now this should be safe and secure. And then we can actually take our lockout tag out off of our power supply, and we can go ahead and get started with some of the tests.